Yo, what's up, guys? If you clicked on this video, that probably means you're interested in learning how to actually properly sports bet. We're going to get into that, but the first thing I want to do is just give you some credibility on who I am so you know that who you're tailing actually knows what they're doing. So, I'm PropGeekZeke. If you don't know who I am, I have over 100K on Twitter. I have a Discord with over 20,000 members. I've been publicly tracked by a third party for over 4 years now. I'm up over 1,000 units. You can check my picket. My picket is lifetime green. Everything you want to know, everything you're looking for in a sports bettor, where like they're actually transparent. They're not just posting lotto parlays. They're not tracking anything. We track every single bet down to the smallest minute detail. We're going to talk about the easiest strategy to actually properly sports bet. All right, first things first, most sports bettors lose money. Over 99% of sports bettors are tracked as lifetime losers, and there's a way to fix that. Today, I'm going to show you the exact process I use to find plus EV bets to actually win sports betting and to actually make some money. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to do this, so just stay tuned. It's going to be a short video, but you're going to get a ton of information. So first things first, everybody knows if you flip a coin, it is a 50% chance that it lands on heads or tails. So imagine if someone walked up to you and said, hey, let's play a game. Every time this coin lands on heads, I'll give you $12. Every time the coin lands on tails, you give me $10. Obviously, you're going to want to play this game because if each expected coin is only 50% and you're winning $12 and only losing 10 in this scenario, obviously it makes sense to play the game, right? It's not about whether you like heads or tails, because I know some people are like, when they're playing Madden, they want to play tails because they think tails is better, right? That's not what actual sports betting and profitable betting is. Let's say you're a guy that likes to bet on heads just because for whatever reason. If someone walked up to you and said, hey, I'll give you heads for $8, tails for 10, you're not going to make that bet because heads is worth $10 or heads is worth the same price as tails. You're not going to pay a worse price. So that's all sports betting is. You're looking to find plays where the probability that you're paying is lower than the price that the bet is expected to hit at. For example, if let's say you think the Warriors are going to beat the Spurs tonight, it doesn't matter that you think they're going to win. You need to find a good price on the Warriors because the Warriors can have a 95% chance to beat the Spurs, but it can still be a bad bet if you're paying a price where it needs to hit 99% of the time for you to profit. Now, let's say, for example, the sportsbooks have Anthony Edwards over 25.5 and under 25.5 points at minus 115. That does not mean that the fair value is minus 115 or 53.5%, because obviously minus 115 on both sides adds up to over 100%. What that's called is the VIG. The VIG is the sportsbook cut their tax on the bet. So you can see here, each minus 115 is 53.5%. You add that up, that's a 107% chance for that bet. Obviously, you can't add two things up and add up to over 107%. That 7% is the VIG. So what you need to do in plus EV betting and profitable betting is you need to find the fair value of the line. Because if the sports books are telling you, we think we win at minus 115 when you bet it, because obviously the sports book make money, they're going to post a line that they think they'll win at. You need to find what they think the true price is, which is always going to be lower than the price you see on the screen, on the app, on the book, whatever. So how do you do that, right? You need to go find the sharp books. Because, for example, DraftKings is not a sharp book. But something like FanDuel, Pinnacle, Bet Online, where people and sharps can bet more money, that is where they get down on their bets and move the market. Pinnacle is usually the number one sharp market that people reference in terms of game lines. Player props is a little bit different. Pinnacle, usually near closer to game time, you can get down a ton of money. So the sharps will wait until they can get down more money on Pinnacle till the limits open up from, let's say, 5K to 25K, for example. And then they hit that line. You'll see the line steaming in, let's say, the Spurs direction. And DraftKings hasn't moved, and you want to go hit it at DraftKings. We're going to show you another example right here, which is basically what I call the process, the workflow of how you actually find profitable bets, okay? So step number one, you just want to find a prop on DraftKings. Step number two, you want to check Pinnacle's line for the same prop. Let's use Texans minus 3.5 for this, okay? So if Texans minus 3.5 is plus 105 on DraftKings, and you're interested in taking the Texans, for example, you want to open up Pinnacle or open up, realistically, in an ideal words, you want to open up a tool that the best books markets, right? So there's Prop Professor, Odds Jam, there's a ton. There's bots in my Discord that you get access to when you pay for my plays, that as soon as any of these plays prop up, they send it directly to your phone. You get a notification, hey, Texans plus 105 on DraftKings is plus EV to Pinnacle, Bet Online, and Bookmaker. That's how you actually profit, is by just doing that, right? You're not betting on teams you like, you don't like, whatever. So you're going to find a prop on DraftKings. You're going to check Pinnacle's line for the same prop. You want to compare the odds you're getting. So if DraftKings is giving you a better price than the Pinnacle fair line, that means that the bet is positive value. Again, you have to find the Pinnacle fair value. There's tools where you can just search up sports betting fair value line. And you just type in, okay, it's minus 115 and it's minus 115. They're going to say the fair value of that is plus 100. Because all they're doing is they're removing the VIG from both sides that we talked about in the last one to get you that fair value. So if something's minus 145 and plus 100, you type that into a calculator and it tells you the fair value is, let's say, minus 120. All they're doing is removing the VIG to tell you the sports books, this is what they are actually pricing the prop at. We're going to do a live example here. So let's talk about Steph Curry over 4.5 threes. If Pinnacle is offering it at minus 120, now, after you calculate the VIG, again, there's thousands of tools for free where you can just type in the two prices. There's a bot in my Discord that does it for you as well. Everything you need to be a professional sports bettor is in my Discord, by the way. There's also free examples. I'm not telling you you have to join my Discord, but we have all the tools you need. We have educational articles, you get videos, etc. Pinnacle is saying it's minus 106, so implied probability of 51.5. You open up DraftKings, that bet is plus 112, which is an implied probability of 47.2%. If the Pinnacle fair line is 106, minus 106, the DraftKings line is plus 112, your edge on that bet is 4.3%. So that means every $100 you bet on that prop, you're expected to win $4.03. Now, I know you're going to say that doesn't sound like a lot for one bet. That's not, if you sports bet, you know you place multiple bets a day, right? Plus EV betting is really all about volume. If you are Warren Buffett and you do the stock markets, you don't just buy one stock, right? You don't just buy Apple. You buy all these different props. You're trying to get as many eggs in as many baskets as possible of profitable trades because that's how you win. That also lowers your variance long term because you have multiple eggs in multiple baskets instead of all your eggs in one basket, right? So sports betting, profitable sports betting is very similar to day trading or investing. A lot of the same principles that apply in these also apply in sports betting. So again, your edge will be 4.3% on this Steph Curry example because the Pinnacle line, fair value is minus 106. It's higher than the DraftKings line. Boom, that's a profitable bet. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know Steph Curry's matchup. You don't need to know Steph Curry's last five. You don't need to know Steph Curry's birthday, how he performs against this player. You don't need to know none of that. Pinnacle is smarter than you. That's all you need to know. DraftKings or FanDuel is smarter than you. BetOnline is smarter than you. Bookmaker smarter than you. If you are a casual bettor, you can use these markets to your advantage. You want to be on the same side as Vegas. You don't want to have to be facing Vegas, right? The easiest way I like to explain this to people is these sportsbooks pay people millions of dollars to set these lines. They invest a ton of money in pricing so they actually win. There's a reason a new casino is built every day in Vegas because they actually win. So if you can join their side and say, okay, so FanDuel, Pinnacle, BetOnline all have this as a profitable bet. They think this is more probable. I can snipe off this one random DraftKings line. That's how you win. You don't win by trying to beat every single sportsbook in the world that all says the Texans are plus 105. You'll never win betting that. You will never win betting that, especially if you're casual. Mistake number one is they're just chasing these huge parlays. They see these parlays on Twitter where they will bet on Aaron Judge, Mickey Moniak. I don't know why Mickey Moniak came to line. Aaron Judge, Mickey Moniak, Shohei Ohtani, and Cal Raleigh did a home run. If each prop has a 3% VIG, right? 5% VIG, and you start adding them into parlays, all you're doing is making your expected return even worse. Because betting Aaron Judge for a home run straight up, let's just say, is negative 5% EV. That means every $100, you're expected to lose 5. Now, if you take 5 other players and put it in a parlay, all you just did was multiply the VIG you're paying and multiply the negative EV you are paying. Now, if you can find profitable bets, throwing them in a parlay is actually very good. It's a way to increase your maximum output or whatever because you're getting plays that are profitable. But starting out, all you need to do is find the one bet, like the Steph Curry example, place that in. Now, if you're in my Discord, you see we post a ton of parlays, but that's because I know what I'm doing, and I've been doing this for so long. Once you start doing this, you can get to that point where you're placing a ton of parlays of profitable bets all in one, right? It's also a good way to avoid limits. But that's the biggest mistake people make. You see those tweets on Twitter, they get like 5,000 likes because they're betting on 4 guys that hit a home run. Because people just are chasing this $5 into 5K lottery ticket. And over time, they're just burning money. And it is one of the worst ways to gamble. Mistake number two, we talked about a little bit, is betting on feel. You think, you know, okay, Jokic hasn't scored 25 plus in 7 games. He's due. He's facing, let's say, Markieff Morris. Even though I don't even know Markieff Morris in the league anymore, but someone that he hates, right? He's facing Markieff Morris. He's going to go off tonight. Guys, you cannot beat a sports. The sports books know all of this. You can't bet a sports book by saying, in my gut, like my gut's just telling me that Devin Booker is going to fry Luka tonight. All of this is priced in. If the sportsbook can't price in something that the casual bettor can think about and place that bet, then they would not be building a new casino every day. They are building a new casino every single day in Vegas because people think that they can vibe out a bet and beat all these sportsbooks in Vegas. That is not how you win. That is, again, a terrible way to sports bet. Number three, this one actually, the betting on feel is something that a lot of people do, but this is one of the ones where people will argue with you. A lot of people won't argue on the feel thing. They'll just be like, yeah, I know it's dumb, but I still do it. This one, people will die on a hill of, I only want to bet on one sports book. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. If you have $100, it makes more sense to throw $20 into DraftKings, Caesars, PointsBet, FanDuel, BetMGM, because that gives you 5 chances to find a profitable play. If DraftKings has a play that's plus EV and you're only betting on FanDuel, then you just miss out on that bet completely. Because let's say FanDuel has it at minus 120, DraftKings has it at minus 105, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. So this is one of the things I think is the dumbest thing. People let it down this hill. Oh, I'm loyal to Prize Picks. I'm loyal to FanDuel. None of these apps are loyal to you. If you have followed me on Twitter before, you know that I am limited on every single sportsbook in the world. I could open up PrizePicks right now and try to place a bet, and they will only let me bet $5. They won't let me bet literally a Chipotle bowl. I couldn't even bet a Starbucks drink, bro. $6.99. I can't bet that. They're not loyal to you. Their one goal, the reason why Prize Picks exists is because they want to take money from your pocket and put it in theirs. You should not be loyal to a sportsbook. It makes way more sense to get on as many sportsbooks as possible. Try to bend them over. Try to make money because that is how you actually win. Not being loyal to a book that does not care about you. If you're losing, they'll give you promos. If you're winning, they will cut your limits. They'll try to kick you off the app. They will never give you more promos. Okay, mistake number 4 is looking at a small sample size. This is another one that a lot of people love to ride on, and this is just in real life too. This isn't just in one thing. When you sports bet, if you know anything about math, right, I'm going to use a couple math words for you, but I'll also make it easy to understand. No investment, day trading, sports betting, anything is a linear graph, meaning the graph does not go in a straight line up, right? It is like an exponential, well, exponentials occurred. So it's more of just like a graph that has these hills and valleys, like I'm showing on the screen right now, where you win 5, then you lose 3, then you win 7, then you lose 6, then you might win 13 in a row, and then you might lose 18 in a row. After you lose 18 in a row, you can't be like, which hopefully that never happens, because if you're playing straights, that definitely shouldn't happen, but it can, I guess. Um, you shouldn't be, man, this process sucks. Plus EV betting sucks. Plus EV betting has been talked about for 10 plus years. There's 1,000 videos on it. 1,000 people have green pickets from it. It's not, it does or doesn't work. It is a fact it works. It is factually correct that if you use no vig lines from sharp books, you will win on easy books. That is a fact, okay? But that doesn't mean your graph is going to be completely linear, right? I've had months in the Discord where I've posted plays and I've lost 12 units in a month, right? And then people will be in there, I'm leaving. I see this random person on Twitter is on a 5-day heater. Everyone's going to have a 5-day heater in sports betting, but what you need to look for is like a long-term process. Stop using a small sample, because if you're just joining every single Discord that goes on a 5-day heater, right? You're going to join my 5-day heater. Then I'm going to, because how variance works and how, odds work, I'm going to have a downswing, right? I can't just go like this forever. You're going to join when it goes like this. And then you're going to be like, man, Zeke sucks. I'm going to go join this guy who's on a 5-day heater. And then it's going to go down again. Then you're going to join this guy and it's going to go down. All you're doing is buying on everybody's low streak. You need to find something that has a long-term track record. Again, I've been tracked over 4 years profitable. You can find every single bet I've taken in the last 4 years for free in my Discord. It's not behind a paywall. You can click a Google Sheet, find every single bet I've ever placed, the odds I've played it on, everything, the date I placed it, whatever you want to see. So not looking at small sample sizes is a big one. And here's the thing, sports betting is not hard. Once you actually learn how to plus EV bet, it's really one of the easiest things. You can just sit on your couch, place bets, make money. It's honestly amazing. Just most people don't know the math. They're not disciplined enough to trust it. Now you know the math to actually profit, to make $3,000 in a month, right? So if this video helped you at all, guys, please smash the like button. Please subscribe. It helps me a lot. It helps me send out more content to people that actually want to learn this stuff. actually start profitably sports betting. So subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this. We're going to do plenty more videos like this. And the last thing, drop a comment on what is your favorite sport to bet on right now. Right now, golf is on. The Masters is about to come up. That's my favorite time of the year. We got the players this week. Thank you for tuning in. Again, smash the like button, hit subscribe. Deuces.